So, when we talk about the best first-person shooters, the ones that really defined our love for the genre, usually the name Far Cry 3 is mentioned. Both fans and critics agree that it's a gemstone, but for a long time I never really understood why. Probably because I've never played it before. But how can a game be so good that it kills its own franchise? Well, Far Cry 3 marked a significant time period for Ubisoft, because while other first-person shooters were slowly becoming stale, Ubisoft decided to stray from the usual characteristics of FPS games at the time, and create a breathtaking world full of rich colors, while simultaneously tackling on a heavy story with complex themes and characters. The game was so brilliant that they copied the same game and released it multiple times. I mean, I thought I wasn't creative, but goddamn Ubisoft. So how does Far Cry 3 hold up in today's age? Is the gameplay as satisfying as it was a decade ago? And is Vaz still as iconic as people claim he is? Well, let's delve deep into the dark world of Far Cry 3.
I'm gonna drive a bullet through my sister's skull.
We start the game with an Alice in Wonderland quote. Buckle up, we're gonna have a lot of those. Then, we get an introduction showing us the main protagonist, Jason Brody, alongside his two brothers and a couple of their friends going on holiday in a rogue island, the Rook Islands. Ultimately they go skydiving, but things go wrong, and in a swift change of tone, we meet Vaz, who's playing an imprisoned Jason and his brother Grant, a video clip of them while in the sky. Vaz claims that he likes my android. Why is this guy considered crazy again? He seems pretty good to me. Anyway, Vaz implies that he wants to sell us because we look expensive. I mean, I'll take that as a compliment, you know.
Did you want me to slice you open like I did your friend? Shut the f*** up!
Okay, never mind. This first scene with Vaz is a great way of introducing an antagonizing villain. It shows truly how tense the game could be. Eventually Vaz leaves and we try to escape the camp. While escaping, we are forced to kill one of the pirates. Then Jason hits us with an, "Oh no man, I can't kill people, that's too much." Oh Jason, you sweet summer child. We open up a map and try to locate the exit. Grant opens up to me about his regrets in life, thinking I'm his therapist. But thankfully, Vaz ends my misery by shooting him. I try and stop the bleeding, but to no avail. Grant is meeting the Lord today. Vaz starts referencing movies while yelling at me to run away. I prepare the Air Force Ones and sprint to my freedom. Then, a pirate gets the jump on me and tries to kill me. I spam the space button faster than him and win the 1v1. While making my escape, I go through an old bridge that collapses, and Jason falls down into the ocean. Then, Ubisoft inserts their signature move. Man, is it refreshing to see Ubisoft in their prime. I miss those days where games hooked you from the beginning. No need for extra 2-hour-long conversations full of exposure and dull dialogue. Just a storm of emotions from the first 15 minutes that can make your game shine. And Far Cry does exactly that. We wake up to a guy giving Jason a tattoo. He reveals that his name is Dennis, and the reason he tattooed me is because these tattoos will apparently reveal my true self as a warrior. Little does he know I'm already a warrior. A keyboard warrior, to be specific. At last, we leave the room. Then he introduces me to the village, where a total of 3 people acknowledge my existence. He also informs me of his tribe, called the Rock Yacht, a group of people wanting to end Vaz's reign on the area. He offers me money to buy a gun and save my friends. The cheap jackass only gave me $60, but I digress. I notice a group of people dancing in union, so I quickly join in and show them a couple of my moves. At this rate, all of my friends are joining Grant in death. I finally buy the pistol. Then Dennis informs me that in order to sabotage Vaz's control of the area, I will have to climb towers and cut off the signal. Now every time you sabotage a tower, it unlocks the region in your map alongside the animal types present in that area, while also unlocking new side missions and free weapons. But the real beauty in climbing these towers is the fact that every time you're at the top, you are met with a breathtaking view and a crystal clear blue sky. It's like a refreshing, hey, you can relax here, take this moment of rest. The game also has a looting system consisting of collecting herbs and skinning animals. Your inventory also has a limit, so every 2 minutes you will run out of space and almost break your controller because you can't carry that one damn herb. I'm certain that Ubisoft just wanted to piss me off with that design choice. But all in all, it's nothing fancy, just the usual, so we'll continue with the main storyline. Dennis teaches me on how to acquire different tattoos, which will open up different skills. It's basically a skill tree in disguise. And in the middle of our convo, we learn that Daisy, one of my friends, has been caught by pirates in an outpost, so we head on to rescue her. Upon reaching the outpost, Dennis instructs me to either sneak up on them or fight them head on. so I choose the most logical choice. End all their suffering and clear the outpost. Finally, we'll learn that Daisy has escaped the camp. Dennis tells me that she is safe with a fellow doctor, so I head on to his house and finally meet him. Upon talking to the doctor, I learned that he is in fact a crackhead, and just like the saying goes, it takes one to know one. But in any case, I enter Daisy's room where she's in a coma needing medicine. According to the dodgy crackhead, I need to collect a few special mushrooms from the cave below to cure her sickness. So I head down below, enter the cave, and finally acquire the mushrooms. I head back to the dock and meet up with Daisy after she wakes up. Then I take her to safety in the cave, where Vaz and his men won't be looking for her. Dennis informs me that Vaz wants them dead and asks for my help. So I go to the village, where Dennis reveals the location of my friends, in a prison called Pirate's Cove. But first, I need to sabotage Vaz's weapons. I arrive at the outpost where the weapons are located. Now the outposts in Far Cry 3 have alarms, where if you decide to skip stealth and go Rambo on them, the alarms will be activated, where 1,000,000 pirates will storm your ass and bury you 6 feet under. So the best way to handle these outposts is by using stealth, disabling the alarm and either continuing the fight silently or go all out. It's a nice way of forcing the player to use stealth sometimes, while also giving them a choice later on. So, I plant the bombs to destroy the weapons and head to Pirate's Cove, where I get jumped by pirates. And so begins this phenomenal scene.
You are angry, Jason. You are angry. Okay, I get that. I get it. I mean, without family, who the f*** are we? There was a time where I'd do anything for my sister. You know, first time I ever killed was for my sister. Not enough for her. No, please. You see, the thing about our loved ones, right? Our f***ing loved ones! They come and they blindside you every f***ing time. So they say to me, they say, Boss, who the f*** is it going to be? Them or me? Me or them? like, you know, like they f***ing think that I need to make a f***ing choice. By the way, this lighter really sucks. You know, so much for poetics. It's really too bad that Citra had to hook you up. Because now the only way to kill you is to erase you completely.
The dialogue here is magnificent. Everything about this scene is so much heightened by the fact that Vaz and Jason are two sides of the same coin. Vaz's anger isn't about how crazy he is. Instead, it's at Jason, because he sees himself in Jason. He knows this path will lead to nothing but self-destruction. It's the same path he went on, all because of a loved one. They blindside you every time, just like his own sister blindsided him into becoming her killing machine. At the end, Vaz sets the room on fire where I need to save my girlfriend Lisa. I set her free and we both escape the place to find a vehicle with a grenade launcher. I quickly create a noob tube montage and obliterate anyone following us. After reaching the cave, she informs me that Vaz took Oliver, one of my friends. Jason Statham picking friends is becoming more and more questionable because this kid is the goofiest guy I've ever seen. But anyway, we enter the cave and meet up with Daisy, where she has found a repairable boat that could lead to our escape. I quickly fix the boat and go on my way. Dennis contacts me and asks me to meet his leader, a woman named Citra, who is capable of giving me enough strength to defeat Vaz. Now that entire segment sounds very dodgy, but I'm running out of choices here, so I take up his offer and go meet this woman. Upon arriving, she threatens to cut off my arm. Questionable methods, as I'm not sure if this is what will empower me to defeat Vaz, but in the end she backs down. I learn that she is the sister of Vaz. I then tell her about my ambitions of killing Vaz, so she tasks me with finding an ancient Rakyat blade that's been lost from them to prove my worthiness. She hasn't seen the thousands of bodies I left behind, but that's beside the point, eh? So, Citra hands me a drug that I drink without thinking. Then, I envision a man in a white suit who could guide me to find the knife. I look for the man in white and find him in a bar. I follow him to his house where I can torture the idiot for answers, but the real idiot is actually me, because I've walked into a trap where the entire place is armed with C4. I tell the man my name and meet up with him. Apparently his name is Agent Willis, a spy working for the CIA. He yaps too much, so let's summarize it all. There's a guy named Hoyt who is Vaz's boss. Hoyt is holding some of my friends to sell them. In order to bring Hoyt to the island, I need to burn his drug farm, so our dear friend Willis here hands me a flamethrower. This mission is too simple. Burn some plants then go home. Ubisoft, your level design is so awful. Oh my god. I burn it all. The pirates, the plants, the birds, everything in my sight. Okay, maybe not the birds, but you get the point. After accomplishing the mission, I go back to Willis to get my answers on the location of my friends. He plays an audio recording of Hoyt ordering Voss to kill me. He then reveals that he is paying a nearby town a visit to take off the edge. It seems like we have a lot in common, so I take a quick peek at my schedule and decide to join him. After arriving, I notice Hoyt executing a few villagers, then leaving the place on a chopper. I save the last remaining villager who has the transportation manifesto. I send a picture of it to Willis, and he deciphers the message containing Oliver's location. I'm getting sick of this nonsense, so if I don't see Oliver soon, best believe Agent Willis is getting that Glenn treatment. After following Willis's coordinates, I notice an entire convoy going through. In between them is Oliver. I start shooting down every pirate in my sight. My aim is as good as the Wi-Fi in North Korea, but thankfully I have enough ammunition to take down a continent. Finally, I get to Oliver, and this boy's zesty as hell. Man, if I'd known he was like that, I'd have killed him myself. But either way, we escape the pirates and get to the cave. Upon reaching the cave, my girlfriend shows her concerns on how this is affecting me. My kill counter is still at 0, so she has nothing to fear. Jokes aside, this scene shows how Jason was always in the background, disregarded by people, including his own girlfriend. He tells her that for the first time in his life, he feels in control, like he has finally found a purpose in something. I know it's a messed up point of view, but it's one you'll only understand after living through. Anyway, Willis informs me of a man named Buck who knows where my friend Keith is. I go meet this person and realize he's also a drug addict. I'm not sure why this game is obsessed with drugs, but it seems like I fit in perfectly. Buck has Keith imprisoned. He starts blackmailing me, demanding the same blade Citra is looking for. I have no choice but to accept, and so my quest to find the knife begins. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of this whole finding the blade section. The interactions between Jason and Buck are sometimes enjoyable, but the level design gets repetitive fast. It always follows the same pattern. Buck tells me where to go, I head there, kill some pirates, search for the blade, only to find a piece of a key. Then I return to Buck, he yaps more and sends me to the next location. Rinse and repeat until I eventually collect all the pieces. These pieces combined can open the vault where the blade is kept. Ultimately, I grab that damn piece of trash and escape the vault. I give Buck what he wanted and regroup with Keith. He says that he can't take anymore. Buck must have been a big fan of Diddy, but either way, before taking Keith back to the cave, Buck barges in and prevents me from doing so. He tries to seduce me into leaving, but I successfully complete a few QTEs and kill him. After taking Keith to the cave, I learn that my other brother Riley has been killed by Hoyt. I audibly swear to kill Voss and Hoyt to avenge my family. I bet Kratos would be proud of me. With me running out of options, I go back to Citra and hand her the blade. She takes me to the back rooms and lectures me on the history of her tribe. Frankly, history was never my thing in school, so I escape her dungeon and head on my way. Dennis informs me of an ambush, where the people there could use help. I go there, kill more pirates, and follow their convoy. But in the end, it turns out to be an ambush planned against me, and the plan master was in fact Voss. And then starts one of my favorite scenes.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting, so boom, I shot them. The thing is, okay, he was right. And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked. Everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing. Over and over and over and over and over again. Thinking, this time, he's gonna be different. No, please. This time, he's gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me. Okay? You have a problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? F you! Okay? F you! It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill, man. I'm gonna chill. The thing is, alright? The thing is, I killed you once already. And it's not like I am crazy. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Oh, Jesus.
The beauty that resides within this scene is how applicable it is in everyone's lives, including both Jason and Vaz. But at the same time, its meaning could be as simple as Vaz doing the same thing, aka trying to kill Jason, over and over again. Another thing to point is how the scene begins and ends with the same sentence. We don't know how many times Vaz was repeating the same phrases because we were knocked out. He could have sat there for an entire hour talking to me, being unconscious, repeating the same shit over and over again, signifying just how insane he is. Anyway, enough of these poems. Vaz throws me in the ocean, where I enable my main character plot armor and swim back to the surface. I try to escape with the chopper, but it ends up being shot down by Vaz. He stands on top of me and ends my life. Yeah, about that. Remember the plot armor? It turns out Vaz's bullet went straight into the lighter instead of me. I guess what the game is really trying to tell us that if you're a smoker, your chances of living are higher than usual. Wait, that doesn't sound right. But before we continue, I have to mention this game's ageless art design. In the midst of all the fighting, all the brutal killing we witness, whether it's by our own hands or by others, there are these moments of calmness that chills us down. After climbing a huge tower, at the end you are met with a beautiful view from the top. Or when you need to cross the ocean, you get a few minutes of you standing at the beach watching the sun either rising or setting. Moments like these aren't easily forgettable. Sometimes I would just stand in my place and watch just how eye-relieving this game can get. Anyway, we got a mission and it's killing Vaz. I head back to Citra, where she drugs me into having a boss battle with a dragon figure. I start riding the dragon, pun intended, and stab it in the eye. Now, there are some scenes that I can't show, but basically, Citra's drugging me and brainwashing me into killing Vaz and Hoyt for her. Either way, I swim to Vaz's compound, kill his bodyguards, and invade his space, where he ambushes me and stabs me with a drugged blade. And I'll let the scene play out.
Who are you, Jason? What kind of man are you?
The world is on a diagonal. I am the balancing point. Way up in the skies, you thought you had your finger on the tree. But hermano,
You are strong, powerful.
are you enjoying my sister's company? Huh? She's gonna make a warrior out of you. You're so Jason. Come on. Pull the trigger. Come on, mother. Pull the trigger! Let's go shoot me! Let's go shoot me! Shoot me! You are me. And I am you. Why won't you die? Take me into your heart! Accept me as your savior! Nail me to the cross! And let me be reborn! Citra, I won.
I honestly believe that this is one of the most brilliantly crafted scenes Ubisoft has ever created. Everything from Michael Mando's performance, Vaz's lines, the chilling music, the disturbing hallucinations, it all works in unison to present you how Jason has lost it. Even at the end when we stab Vaz, I wholeheartedly believe that Vaz let Jason stab him. Maybe he intended for it to happen so that Jason can finally see the emotionless killing machine that he has become. Or maybe he just wanted an end to his misery in life. At last, I promised Citra that I would kill Hoyt for her sake, and to avenge my brothers. Then I promised her that I would leave my friends and stay on the island. I head back to the cave and inform my friends on this decision. Now real quick, what the hell does Lisa mean here? What does that even mean? Is she like a PDF or something? What the hell is going on? Regardless, I speak to Willis on the phone and he reveals that he's leaving the island soon, so I ask him to drop me off at Hoyt's Island, where one of his friends who could help me is stationed. I get on the chopper and skydive to the island, but in order to meet Willis's friend, I'm gonna have to play a game of poker with him. Now, in life, one thing is certain. I don't know jack about poker. I literally kept pressing anything because I got no clue what's going on. Anyway, thankfully the game ends and I meet the guy. His name is Sam and our first meeting didn't go so well. But either way, the guy walks away into, I don't know, heaven I guess? Sam suggests a plan, hiding me in between Hoyt's soldiers. All I have to do is kill a few of his soldiers and use their uniform as a disguise. So I do exactly that. While stealing the uniform, one of Hoyt's men informs me about an operation behind Hoyt's back, where they could steal some of Voss's drugs and sell it for their benefit. I keep that information to myself to use later in the game. Hoyt gives a speech about loyalty. And let me be honest, this game's biggest sin is killing Voss too early. Hoyt is nothing but a generic villain that belongs to the pile of forgettable villains. Voss's death was a double-edged sword, because while it did serve a purpose story-wise, his character alone drove me to complete the game, and when he died, he left a big hole that Hoyt just never really filled. Anyway, remember the traitors that I talked about earlier? Well, they are meeting on a bridge and I gotta steal a sheet that proves their existence. So I go there, meet the lovely people, and terminate any living soul. Lastly, I take the sheet and run away. Sam finally introduces me to Hoyt. I give him the sheet of paper to gain his trust. I imply that I want to join his inner circle, so as usual, he starts giving a speech about loyalty. God, I miss Voss. Anyway, he reveals that in order for me to get close to him, I would have to torture our prisoner to get some information out of him. So I head downstairs to the prisoner, and lo and behold, the prisoner turns out to be Riley, my younger brother. He recognizes me, but I have to stay in character, so I slap him a couple of times. Sam disables the camera temporarily, where I promise Riley that I would get him out of here. But to impress Hoyt, I'm forced to torture him. Then, I get a moment of realization.
Who have I become?
Ultimately, Sam comes up with a plan to kill Hoyt. We have to disable the communications network of his soldiers to cripple them. Then, at a poker game, we take him out. So I plant some C4 on the communication center and blow it sky high. Before heading to the final mission, let me mention just how surprisingly well the gunplay has aged. Despite it being a 2012 game, the gunplay still feels modern and maybe even ahead of its time. There's a wide range of guns and melee weapons to choose from, and each gun is customizable with a few attachments. Anyhow, we have one last mission. I meet with Sam and head to the poker game. My skills are so bad that they offended Hoyt into killing Sam. Hoyt figures out who I am, and now I am one man against an army. We play one last game, and the prize is my life. Well, guess what? I lost, so Hoyt cuts off my ring finger. Then we get transported into a dream, another QTE minigame where I dominate the competition, kill Hoyt and get back to the real world, where it turns out that I blacked out and killed everyone in the room. Pretty weird, huh? But now I have to save Riley. I drive to the airport where I meet Riley. Then I task him with driving the helicopter, because obviously anyone can easily do that. I get on the minigun and rain fire on these soldiers. Upon reaching the cave, I notice the doctor almost dying. He reveals that the Rakyat took my friends away to the temple. I quickly get there, where Citra drugs me yet again. This woman must have lost her damn mind. She's so in love with me, to the point where she asks me to kill my own girlfriend, leave my old life behind, and finally be with her. So, the final choice, either I kill Lisa to join Citra, or save all my friends. Without hesitation, I choose to save them. Citra tries to convince me not to leave. At that point, Dennis turns batshit insane and tries to stab me. Citra defends me as a human shield and dies instead. Honestly, good riddance. But either way, Dennis grieves over her body. Then I take my friends and get the hell out of this place. And at last, Jason finally completes his arc.
I've killed so many people, I've lost count. I can't come back from this. I'm a monster. I can feel the anger inside me. still somewhere inside me more than that. Better than that.
Far Cry 3 is one of those few games that age better with time. The more you learn about the story, the better it becomes. Voss and Jason are two masterfully written characters, parallel lines that either meet or diverge at the end, depending on your choice. For me, Voss's death was the breaking point of Jason's character. It's what opened my eyes to the true nature of Citra and ultimately led me to choose my friends over her. In order not to become Voss, Hoyt, or what Citra wanted me to be, I had to leave that life behind. I'm not exactly sure just how other Far Cries hold up, but this one impressed me a lot with its variety in weapons, eye-catching art design, and complex story. One thing I really wish was more focused on was the parkour. It felt very simple and bare bones, especially when you have a ton of developers who have previously worked on Assassin's Creed. Maybe I'm just spoiled with how amazing the parkour is in Dying Light, but I don't think it would have hurt to add a couple more moves to spice the gameplay up. But ultimately, Far Cry 3 defines Ubisoft's brilliancy in pushing the genre forward, and it's a hidden gem that a lot of people push to the side due to its lackluster follow-ups. Well, thank you very much for watching this all the way to the end. I'd appreciate you subscribing and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But in any case, see you in the next one.